I'm giving iced coffee another shot. Hey y'all, my name is Nat. I hope you're having a terrific day today, and for this video we are going to be doing my September TBR. Before we get into anything bookish, however, make sure to hit like and subscribe down below, as well as tell me in the comments what is one book on your September TBR that you're really looking forward to. So, following with the theme of playing different TBR games every month, this month is Becca's bookoplathon. If you are unaware, that is a readathon based around Becca and the Book's TBR game, which she usually plays, which is a bookish version of Monopoly. However, she's actually made it into a readathon. I actually only recently found out about Becca's TBR game, and I thought it sounded so much fun. I decided to take advantage of the fact that the readathon is going on this month and utilize this game for my TBR. So that means we are going to start out with playing the TBR game and seeing what rolls I get.
Hey guys, so first we obviously have our Becca bookoplathon board here. I've got my 2 six-sided dice, I have my community cards and my chance cards, and then my little player, which is this little copper owl that I got in Olympia. So obviously we are going to start on the go spot, and let's just roll our dice. Of course, we start with a double because doubles mean that you have to add a roll. I was going to do 5. Looks like now I'm going to do 6. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we got poll pick.
Okay, so for my poll pick, I put 4 books together on a Instagram story, and those 4 were Yinka, Where Is Your Husband by Lizzie Damalola Blackburn, My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones, The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig, and then finally the winner, which was The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina by Zoraida Cordova. This actually works out really perfectly for me because I have a planned video for this, on top of the fact that this is actually a 5-star prediction, and I have literally read one of those books so far. I need to work into these, so here's hoping I will finally jump into this between 5-star, this TBR game, and a video planned. Hopefully that means I'll finally get this read this month. On to the next roll.
Roll number 2. We got 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Emoji generator.
So I got a emoji generator. Now, with this one, Becca said you can either do 1 emoji, you could do 3 emojis, however many you want. Well, I went to a generator and decided to do 2. I thought that way it might be a little harder, but not too difficult. Well, my ending results were a phone and a devil smiling. For that, I decided to go with Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. Now, first off, I believe this one has a podcast element, which that's where I got the phone part. And then obviously, since this is a YA thriller, there's going to be some sort of a mastermind behind whatever plot is happening in this one. I'm not really sure what it is. That's where the devil came in. So bang, that's how I got to Good Girl, Bad Blood. On top of that, this is the second book in a series, which I have been hoping to continue for some time now. Here, I am finally going to do it. So yes, this is the follow-up to the first book, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. We are once again following our main character of Pip, who is no longer a detective in her personal time. However, she now runs a true crime podcast. So with that, I am going to try and get the audiobook of this because it was fantastic in the first one, but with the podcast element, I bet it's going to be even better this time around. Really excited to finally continue the series. This gave me the excuse to do it. Now for the next roll.
Okay, roll number 3. We got 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Features a romance. That'll be pretty easy.
Features romance is a prompt that is so incredibly easy that it gave me a ton of books to consider, particularly since I think a lot of the books that I want to prioritize in fall time have romance within them. I decided I need to prioritize a book that I have to get read anyway, and that is Just Like Magic by Sarah Hogle. This is a holiday romance, which I believe is coming out in October, but I have an arc of it through NetGalley, so that means I have to get it read this month. That way I can get a review back to NetGalley on time, but I am really excited about this one. I don't know anything apart from it being a holiday romance. However, Sarah Hogle's name was enough for me to add it to my TBR. I have loved her first 2 books, You Deserve Each Other and Twice Shy, and I cannot wait to get into this one. Features romance, obviously. Now on to the next roll.
Okay, roll number 4. We got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that is a Becca recommendation.
So with a prompt like Becca's recommendation, it definitely would do better if I'd been following Becca for a longer amount of time, but I'm a pretty new subscriber to her. That meant I had to go digging through many of her videos to try and find a book that I could make this work with. Hopefully I already owned. Luckily for me, I did find one. I believe it was in her tier ranking all of the 2021 releases I've read so far video, which I'm gonna link in the cards up above. In that one, she talked about The Ravens by Kaz Morgan and Daniel Page, and she said she was surprised at how much she enjoyed this and was desperate to read the sequel. That works out really perfectly because I have this on my own TBR. I have no idea when else I will pick it up, but I do know it is set at a sorority, and this sorority specifically is run by a bunch of witches. So a perfect kind of book for the fall time. I am very excited for it. I've heard some really positive things and then some stuff that's sort of middle of the road, but this will finally get me to read it. It is also a duology, so hopefully if I do enjoy it a lot, I'll pick up the second book. We'll see. I am not going to guarantee that'll happen this month, but hopefully it'll happen here soon. Now on to the next roll.
Okay, roll number 5, which should have been the last roll, but of course it's not. And we got 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Multi-perspective. So multiple perspectives. This was one that I, once again, have many books, which probably could have worked for it. However, I wanted to try and double count one. So, A Study in Charlotte by Brittany Cavallero. This is also going to be a book club read this month. That knocks out 2 birds with 1 stone. This is a sort of Sherlock Holmes and Watson retelling, but it is 2 teenagers who go to a prep school, I think, and somehow they both get framed for some kind of a crime. I think both the main characters are actually descendants of Sherlock and Watson. That sounds really interesting, and I think there's some kind of a enemies to lovers romance plot going on between the 2 of them, but I do know it does alternate between both of their perspectives. Like I said, this is a pick for a book club I am participating. That is the Story Continued Book Club. I'll put links for their information in the description down below if you're interested in participating. I have been wanting to read this series for quite some time now, but have never actually picked it up. Here is forcing me into starting yet another series. Thank God I put Good Girl Bad Blood on there, so hopefully I'll make progress through at least one other series. And okay, now we're on to that final extra roll. Okay, final roll. We got 4. Wow, I just keep getting 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Most recent purchase. Oh, heck yes, I'm very excited for that.
This one works out super perfectly for me because I have been highly anticipating this book ever since I picked it up. That is Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White. First off, just like this cover, it's stunning. It's totally beautiful. It was the reason I picked the book up initially, and now I can't wait to get into it. This is some kind of a dystopian apocalyptic story that has a main character who was living within a cult and actually has some kind of a biochemical weapon within his body. However, our main character is now on the run from the cult and ends up running into a group of LGBT+ youths who have settled down into a shelter within the city, and I think he starts to work with them to possibly try and hide from the cult, but also maybe try and figure out how to utilize this bioweapon. Something along those lines, I'm not really sure, but it's like a YA sci-fi horror, and I'm really into it. I think the fact that it's dystopian won't be as terrible for me, given the fact that the main genre of the book is horror. I think that'll make it a lot more interesting than just going down the traditional dystopian society route. One way or another, I am so glad I pulled this prompt because I've been really wanting to pick this up. Okay, so that is it for all of my bookoplathon polls, but me being me, of course, I have a pile of possibilities of other books I would also love to get to this month. So for my nonfiction read of the month, what better book to pick up than Lady Killers by Tori Telfer? This 100% gives me autumnal, creepy, spooky vibes. I'm really interested in reading this. I believe every single chapter is a different famous female serial killer, and I'm so into it. I cannot wait to read this. It sounds like it's going to be a great time as well as super interesting. But again, it's just setting me into that September fall feel. I'm so ready. I think for my big book of the month, I am actually going to be going with The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig. Even though it didn't win that poll pick, I still want to pick it up. It is a literary horror story, I believe, that's following this family family who is now having to return to like a home they once lived in or something, and it's haunted. I have no idea, honestly. I've heard positive things about this. I've also heard some middle of the road things, but one way or another, I'm gonna pick this one up, probably on audio because it's over 500 pages, which completes my big book, but also just makes me nervous. And then finally, the one other possibility I have is 𝗖ście, Where Is Your Husband by Lizzie Demolola. Like I said with the Book of Accidents, even though this didn't win the poll, I still want to read it. This one also works with that video idea I have for the Inheritance of Orchidea Divina, so hopefully I can get both of them read and maybe get that video out a little bit sooner. This is a contemporary story following 𝗖ście, who is being pushed to try and get married. She's not sure if she wants to do that. She ends up meeting a few men she is interested in, but at the same time is working on herself as best she can. That's all I really know about it. This was pitched to me as very reminiscent to Bridget Jones' Diary by Emily Henry, and honestly, that just had me very intrigued, so I have been meaning to pick it up for a while now. I'm not sure how this is gonna go, but I've been doing really well with contemporaries lately. I've read a lot of high-rated contemporaries, so here's hoping this will continue that trend. Apart from the Story Continued book club, I have a few others which I would love to participate in this month. First up is Pages in Color. I'm hoping to continue working through Kingdom of Souls by Rena Barron. This book club picks a book for every quarter, so I have a little bit of time to work through this one. And then finally, I would love to partake in the Full Moon book club for this month, which is The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a Carrie retelling. I already know that I'm going to enjoy Tiffany D. Jackson's writing style, but I just am really intrigued to see her stuff with a horror story, but also just a Carrie retelling. That sounds fantastic. I'm so interested. I'm hoping my library will get a copy of this one, but I'm not 100% sure, so I may have to go buy this myself. Okay, y'all, so that is it for today. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit like and subscribe down below. I have all my socials linked in the description if you're interested in keeping up with what I am reading. I come out with videos on Monday and Friday, but until then, I hope you continue to have a terrific day. Love you, bye!